Hello my friends, and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be talking about some of my most anticipated releases for 2022. These are horror and thrillers, I believe, so we have a little bit of variety, but oh my goodness, there are so many beautiful books coming out in 2022. I am so shocked that I'm gonna be waiting months for all these books, but I can't help it. I'm just so excited for a lot of these, and I cannot wait to get my hands on all of them. Obviously, that's why they're gonna be in this video, but oh my gosh, we have a good selection coming out in 2022. We have a really good amount of really good looking books. I'm very excited. I don't know why I should be surprised. I feel like 2021 we had a really good amount of releases too, so I feel like it's not that surprising that 2022 is going to deliver the same kind of goodness to us. So yeah, these are, I think, 12 of the 12 releases that I'm excited for. I'm sure there are more. I'm sure there will be way more, but these are the 12 that I'm the most excited for right now. So I figured we could talk about them and look at their pretty covers and gush for a bit and, you know, just get excited for the books that are coming out. So let's get into it. Okay, so first up is a book that I'm very excited for. I saw it, I knew immediately I needed it. The cover is so beautiful, and that is The Hacienda by Isabel Cañas. And oh my gosh, it's described as Mexican Gothic meets Rebecca. So I have not read Rebecca, but I've heard a lot about it. I've heard it's very good. Read and absolutely loved Mexican Gothic. Loved Mexican Gothic. This book is about this woman who accepts a marriage proposal from this man, and they move into his estate together. However, a lot of people were trying to warn her about his first wife's demise, and she kind of just blew it off, and she gets to the property and she starts hearing things. Of course. Okay, one, we love a haunted house. We love a haunted house. I will jump on anything that has a haunted house in it. Two, it has a beautiful cover. Need I say more? But honestly, this just sounds really good. I'm really into the Gothic horror a lot recently. I have a not love-hate, but I have a love-miss relationship with Gothic horror. I feel like sometimes I pick it up and I'm like, this is just not connecting to me. And then sometimes I read something like Mexican Gothic where I was like, this was made for me. This was made for me. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. It was amazing. So I don't know how this is gonna go, but it ticks all my boxes, and I absolutely cannot wait. It looks divine, okay? I'm obsessed. And this comes out, let's see, in May. That's so far away. That's so far away. Ouch. I did not realize. Okay, well, you know, I have something to look forward to, right? Next up is another book that, honestly, the cover really sold me. I saw it on Instagram and I was like, I'm gonna need that immediately. I'm gonna need it immediately. And it is called Just Like Home by Sarah Gailey. Absolutely beautiful cover. The colors are just, the colors are just, it's so eye-catching. It's so simple, but yet so striking. And I'm gonna be honest, I actually don't know what this is about. So, you know, yeah, I don't know. This comes out in July. Oof. That's so far away. I'll read you what it says on Goodreads because I actually don't know. It says, coming home is hard enough for Vera, and to make things worse, she and her mother aren't alone. A parasitic artist has moved into the guest house out back and is slowly stripping Vera's childhood for spare parts. He insists that he isn't the one leaving notes around the house in her father's handwriting. But who else could it possibly be? There are secrets yet undiscovered in the foundations of the notorious Crowder house. Vera must face them and find out for herself just how deep the rot goes. It sounds like her father was a serial killer maybe, because it says, come home, Vera's mother called, and Vera obeyed. In spite of their long estrangement, in spite of the memories, she's coming back to the home of a serial killer, back to face the love she had for her father and the bodies he buried there. So sounds kind of like her dad was a serial killer. Maybe the dad's haunting the house because they're finding notes with the dad's handwriting. So that could be fun. That sounds interesting. Could be a haunting. Could be that artist person that's living in the house. I don't know. But like I said, don't know much about it. It sounds amazing. I don't know. The cover, it blew me away. I added it to my list. I want it. Next up is a book I'm also very excited for, obviously, and that is The Resting Place by Camilla Sten. I got approved for this on NetGalley, which I am so excited for because I loved The Lost Village by Camilla Sten. I know that was a super unpopular opinion. A lot of people didn't like that book, but I did. So when I saw her next book up on NetGalley, I asked for it because I was just very, very excited. One, the cover, hello. 2022 is already knocking it out of the park with the covers, so okay. This comes out in March, which is my birthday month, so happy birthday to me. This one sounds very interesting. It is a psychological suspense, but it is, the main character deals with face blindness, which is the inability to recognize a familiar person's face, even the faces of those closest to you. And so the main character ends up walking in on the scene of her grandmother's murder, and she comes face to face with the killer, but she can't see who it is. She gets the house left to her, and it's the place where her grandfather died suddenly. And so it has a really dark past. And so I guess she's gonna go to this house looking for answers to all the questions, and she's probably gonna find a lot of secrets. And yeah, it says, as they get closer to the bringing the truth to light, they'll wish they had never come to disturb what rests there. That sounds very interesting. There's a lot of factors to this story, a lot of like ingredients. There's a lot going on, but I'm intrigued. I can't wait to read it. I can't believe I was approved on NetGalley. Like, honestly, floored me to the moon and back. I was so shocked. But again, I'm just really excited to read it because I did enjoy The Lost Village a whole lot. So I think this one sounds very interesting, very unique, which I'm excited for. Another book I got approved for on NetGalley is Sundial by Katrina Ward, which is the same author who wrote The Last House on Needless Street. I am very excited for this one as well because I also loved The Last House on Needless Street. This cover, I'm sorry. Like I said, 2022, it's setting a record here. It's setting the bar, okay? We're gonna have some competition for covers, so I'm very excited about this. I don't know much about it. It's a psychological horror novel, so that sounds good. And it says, all Rob wanted was a normal life. She almost got it too. A husband, 2 kids, a nice house in the suburbs, far from her childhood home, Sundial, hidden deep in the wild Mojave Desert. But beneath the veneer, Rob is terrified for her oldest daughter, Callie, who collects tiny bones and whispers to imaginary friends. Rob sees a darkness in Callie, one that reminds her too much of the family she left behind. Okay. Running from her past has led her directly back to it. What's buried at Sundial could never stay a secret forever, and Rob must risk one last trip out there to protect her family and her future. Okay, that sounds interesting. So we got running from your past, having to go back to your past, because it's catching up to you. Obviously, her daughter inherited or is similar to her past. I'm interested about the collecting tiny bones and whispering to imaginary friends. Are you whispering to a demon? what kind of bones? Tiny bones, like animal bones? Okay, I have a lot of questions, but it sounds very good. It sounds very interesting. The cover is absolutely beautiful. Like I said, I'm very intrigued. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Sundial is also coming out in March, so that'll be interesting. A lot of books in March. That's just 2, but that's kind of a lot. Next up, we have another haunted estate, haunted house kind of book. Again, the cover is what really sold me. I think they said that if you liked Mexican Gothic, you would also like this one, which, you know, sold me immediately because I love Mexican Gothic. And this is The Haunting of Las Lagrimas by W.M. Cleese, I think is how you pronounce their name. I'm not sure though. So this is going to have the main character traveling to South America and getting warnings from the locals that the estate is haunted, cursed to bring tragedy to the founding family of Las Lagrimas. And so the main character is obviously gonna go there anyways and experience some disturbances. Sounds of footsteps outside her bedroom door, touch of hands on her shoulders when there's no one there, and she keeps hearing the frenzied sound of a man chopping down trees in the nearby forest with an axe. Okay, again, it sounds pretty typical, but also very unique at the same time. I like that it takes place in South America. Yeah, I'm very interested. I love the haunted estate, haunted house trope. It's one of my favorites. It's so interesting to me. Just catches my attention, and this one sounds extremely good. I cannot wait. It comes out in February. Not too long of a wait, but you know, it's soonish. But again, the cover, I'm a sucker for a haunted house with a cover that's beautiful. So I'm obsessed. Okay, next up we have A Flicker in the Dark. This is by Stacy Willingham, and this is coming out in January. However, this is one of the December Book of the Month picks, and I actually picked this one. So I will be getting it this month, and I'm very excited because when I saw A, the cover, beautiful. B, when I saw what it was about, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna need it. I'm gonna need this book. It's absolutely 100% up my alley. This is about our main character, and when she was 12 years old, 6 teenage girls went missing in her town, and her father was actually found guilty of being a serial killer and put in prison for these 6 girls who went missing. And now 20 years later, our main character is a psychologist. She's living her life. However, crimes are starting to occur just like they did all those years ago, and they are eerily similar to the same ones that her father was accused of. So that's going to be really interesting because it kind of hints at, was it really her father? Is this a copycat? Is it someone she knows? Is it someone like really close to her? I have a lot of questions. Hopefully there will be a lot of answers because that's what I'm banking on. This sounds very good though. It kind of gives me Still House Lake vibes. Maybe not necessarily the same thing, but I just read Still House Lake last month, and it kind of feels like that same kind of vibe. Which would be really cool because I really enjoyed Still House Lake. So if this is similar to that, I would be very excited. But the cover, the plot, all sounds really, really good. I'm very excited to get it this month. I might have to move it up on my TBR because I'm very excited for it. I can't even talk. I'm so excited for it. Okay, next up on this list is a book that I actually don't know that much about. I just saw the cover and was immediately drawn to it. It comes out in February, and it is called Jawbone. It is by Monica Ojeda, I think. Oh god, I could be pronouncing that extremely wrong, but yeah, I'm gonna read you what it says on Goodreads because, like I said, I did not really know what this was about. I just kind of added it to my, list. Fernanda and Annalise are so close they are practically sisters, a double image, inseparable. So how does Fernanda end up bound on the floor of a deserted cabin, held hostage by one of her teachers and estranged from Annalise? When Fernanda, Annalise, and their friends from the Delta Bilingual Academy convene after school, Annalise leads them in a thrilling but increasingly dangerous rituals to a rhinestoned Dior-scented drag queen god of her own invention. Even more perilous is the secret Annalise and Fernanda share, rooted in a dare in which violence meets love. Meanwhile, their literature teacher, Miss Clara, who is obsessed with imitating her dead mother, struggles to preserve her deteriorating sanity. Each day she edges nearer to a total break with reality. That doesn't make any sense. But it also makes a complete sense. There's so much to that plot. Honestly, I'm kind of flabbergasted. There's like so much going on, but it sounds crazy. It sounds wild. It sounds like a trip, but it sounds great. I don't know, but it sounds really good. I hope I get to it because it sounds crazy. So next up is a book by T. Kingfisher, and that is What Moves the Dead. Again, the cover absolutely sold me on it. Oh my god. So creepy, so beautiful, so eye-catching. Holy crap. This is going to come out in July. According to Goodreads, these dates are all according to Goodreads, so it might change, but that's what Goodreads is stating. So this one is a retelling of The Fall of the House of Usher. Yeah, I love Edgar Allan Poe, so I will be very interested to see how this works. I'm iffy about retellings. I think sometimes they work really well depending on how it is retold, but this could be very interesting. It says, when Alex Easton, a retired soldier, receives word that their childhood friend Madeline Usher is dying, they race to the ancestral home of the Ushers in the remote countryside of Ruritania. What they find is a nightmare of fungal growths and possessed wildlife surrounding a dark, pulsing lake. Madeline sleepwalks and speaks in strange voices at night, and her brother Roderick is consumed with a mysterious malady of the nerves. Aided by a redoubtable British mycologist and a baffled American doctor, Alex must unravel the secret of the House of Usher before it consumes them all. I think it sounds really good. Sounds very interesting. Sounds very different, but sounds like it could be a real winner and really, sounds like it could be really good. So I have like really high hopes for it. I've never read a book by T. Kingfisher, but I've heard only good things, so I'm very excited. This one is Mary, An Awakening of Terror by Nat Cassidy. And this one is coming out in July 19th, it says. So this one sounds very interesting. It's compared to Midsummer with elements of American Psycho and a pinch of I'll Be Gone in the Dark. So I love Midsummer. American Psycho is a very interesting one. I don't know if I'll know I'll Be Gone in the Dark, but it sounds very interesting. This is about Mary, who is a middle-aged, quiet woman just trying to blend into the background of the world. She's just trying to live her life. However, things are changing inside of Mary, and she has hot flashes, body aches. She can't look into a mirror without passing out, and there are voices in her head that have been urging her to do unspeakable things. She gets fired from her job, so she moves back to her hometown, hoping to just kind of reconnect and just get better, I guess. But instead, visions of terrifying mutilated specters overwhelm her with increasing regularity, and she begins auto-writing strange thoughts and phrases. Okay, and so she discovers that these experiences are echoes of an infamous serial killer, and the killings begin again. So it sounds like Mary is going to become that serial killer. Maybe she's gonna just kind of become them and start doing the killings again. That's what it sounds like. Maybe, I don't know if it's like demonic, but it kind of feels like that. Could be psychological, not sure. But we'll see. We'll see. That sounds very interesting. I really like the cover because it looks so like normal. Like it just looks so like just a woman in a bathtub chilling, just living her life, you know, just relaxing. Got a glass of wine. Oh, you're hearing things? Oh, you're gonna kill people? Okay. Okay, and next up we have Just Like Mother by Anne Heltzel. Ooh, I'm probably saying that wrong. The cover, creepy. I'm sorry, so creepy. Very, 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 very creepy. I don't like dolls. That is creepy. This one's coming out in May. So this is about the main character who is trying to live a normal life after a violent incident involving the cult she was raised in shattered her childhood and stole away her cousin, the only true friend she's ever known. Already feeling very into it because I love books with cults in them. That sounds crazy. So I'm excited already. Then her cousin reappears in her life decades later. Okay, so apparently her cousin comes back, but her cousin is got like a lot of wealth now. She has a successful but secretive startup. That's suspicious. Secretive startup? Are you also in a cult? Did you create a cult? So then our main character's routine is going to begin to unravel. And so of course she moves into her cousin's home because that's what family's for apparently. And she meets Andrea's husband and suffers the attention of their friends and business associates, Rob and Emily, who constantly evangelize about coupledom, marriage, and motherhood. What? But behind the influencer lifestyle and perfect facade lurks a nefarious agenda that was set in motion when Maeve was a child. Okay. So something's up with Andrea, the cousin. She sounds very suspicious. Sounds like she's in another cult to me, because, you know, if you only know a cult, if you were raised in a cult, you only know cults, you'll probably go back to a cult. So that feels, you know, similar. This is creepy. Honestly, that's a very creepy plot description. I feel like weird reading it. It makes me feel icky. But it looks great. Honestly, the icky feeling's good because I want to keep reading it. I want the book to make me feel like that. So, you know, the cover, check, plot, check, 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 check. I need it in my life. It sounds awesome. But I'm gonna have to wait till May, and that sounds like too long. But that's okay. I'll do it, I guess. Okay, next up we have Beneath the Stairs by Jennifer Fawcett. Again, love the cover. I don't know, it's just, staircases are kind of creepy, so it looks creepy. This is coming out in February, so again, not too long, but this is I think this is a horror thriller, so this should be interesting. And this is about a woman who returns to her hometown after her childhood friend attempts suicide at a local haunted house, the same place where a traumatic incident shattered their lives 20 years ago. It probably has to do with the house. I'm gonna assume the house is like super haunted and like if you come in, you never leave or something like that. Maybe the house is making people die. That's why her friend was trying to kill himself. He was just like doing what the house told him to. I don't know. That's just a theory. That's just a theory, but That's what I'm going with right now. So next up we have The Book of Cold Cases by Simone St. James. Again, the cover is so pretty. Wow. I'm obsessed with the cover. It's so beautiful. So this is coming out in March, and I know a lot of people love Simone St. James's books. I've actually never read one. I know. I was gonna read The Sundown Motel, but I ended up not because I heard like some mixed reviews about it not really being about like a creepy hotel. So I decided not to read it, but I might eventually get to it. So this, I don't actually know what this is about. I added it to my list because I liked the cover. Surprise, surprise. In 1977, Clear Lake, Oregon was shaken by the lady killer murderers. Oh, Oregon. Ooh, that's gonna feel weird because I live in Oregon. Two men seemingly randomly were murdered with the same gun, with strange notes left behind. Beth Greer was the perfect suspect, a rich, eccentric 23-year-old woman seen fleeing one of the crimes. But she was acquitted, and she retreated to the isolation of her mansion in Oregon. In 2017, Shay Collins is a receptionist, but by night she runs a true crime website, The Book of Cold Cases, a passion fueled by the attempted abduction she escaped as a child. Oh, that's creepy. When she meets Beth by chance, Shay asks her for an interview. To Shay's surprise, Beth says yes. They meet regularly at Beth's mansion, though Shay is never comfortable there. Items move when she's not looking, and she could swear she's seen a girl outside the window. The allure of learning the truth about the case from the smart, charming Beth is too much to resist, but even as they grow closer, Shay senses something isn't right. Is she making friends with a manipulative murderer, or are there other dangers lurking in the darkness of the Greer house? Okay, so we're gonna have true crime, like murder aspects, but then we're also gonna have like a supernatural aspect. Sounds interesting. I love books that have to deal with true crime bloggers. It's just so interesting to me. Maybe it's because I read like, I watch true crime like YouTubers and stuff like that, so it's just like something I'm familiar with. But yeah, this one sounds good. I kind of like the addition of the supernatural. We'll see. I hope it's done like really well. So we'll have to see. So next up is Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. This is coming out in January. I believe this is sci-fi, so I'm intrigued. I just said that I don't really care for sci-fi, and I'm not a huge sci-fi person, but you know, I like to try things when I read it, and a lot of people like sci-fi horror, and this is, you know, it says Titanic meets The Shining, so that's a very interesting combo in my opinion. I love the Titanic. The Shining, the book is really good. I don't like the movie, so as long as it follows the book more in that sense, I will be happy. But this says Claire Kovalik is days away from being unemployed, made obsolete when her beacon repair crew picks up a strange distress signal. With nothing to lose and no desire to return to Earth, Claire and her team decide to investigate. What they find at the other end of the signal is a shock. The Aurora, a famous luxury space liner that vanished on its maiden tour of a solar system more than 20 years ago. A salvage claim like this could set Claire and her crew up for life. Ooh, but is it worth it? Is it worth it? You know, but a quick trip through the Aurora reveals something isn't right. Whispers in the dark, flickers of movement, words scrawled in blood. Claire must fight to hold on to her sanity and find out what really happened on the Aurora before she and her crew meet the same fate. That sounds interesting. I don't know if I'm gonna like be obsessed with this book, but it sounds good. It sounds interesting. I want to give it a chance. I also like the cover. I've seen lots of people talking about it, so I think it could be really good. I just don't know. Sci-fi horror is very hit or miss for me. Most of the time it's a miss just because I don't care for sci-fi horror, but I'm willing to give it a try. You know, I'm willing to give it a try. It sounds interesting. So I want to read it. And there you have it, my friends. Some of my most anticipated releases for 2022. I probably have enough to do another part to this. So maybe in like January or something I can do another part to this video if you want to see more books I'm excited to read in 2022. Yeah, let me know what your most anticipated release of 2022 is. I would love to know. Do these all sound good to you? What do you think? Which one sounds the best? I want to know your opinions because I want to, you know, buy some of these. So I want to know which ones you guys want to hear my opinions and thoughts on. So that way I can get ahead of the game. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. It lets me know what kind of content you like from me. That way I can keep providing you with that kind of content. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. We can become friends. Talk about books, movies, horror, spooky things, manga, all kinds of stuff. I do a lot of random stuff, so hopefully there's something for you that piques your interest. And with that being said, I hope you are having a lovely day, night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!